flame up to 750 degrees initially. You can just turn it on and it won't crack. And they're guaranteed clay pots, you know, and that's part of my goal is just to be able to make just about all the stuff that I use, you know.
Real talk.
And, yeah, so we can have our own dishes, our own cups. We can do it.
Your own spoons, forks, and, you know, the less you need these people, the better off. You know, our people never needed these people. Those people showed up over here needing us. They were in trouble, needed our help. Our ancestors helped them, and they turned on them. And ever since, all we've been trying to, I don't know why we keep feeling the need to do it. We keep trying to prove to them that we're as good as them and we're good enough and, you know, let me in. Hey, it's like this. Y'all don't want us in, we're done. Maybe it's time for us as a people to start walking away.
Well, I
think we own lots of land and we have lots of artisans like in things. It's really time to start walking away. You're trying to fit in where you're not wanted, even though this is your house. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah. I find that the more I make stuff, it's like I'm tuning in to the inside of me, and the better I feel, the more joy I have just in my heart. Because when I make something, I'm able to look at it and I smile, you know, it's like instant joy. And that's something that can't be taken away from me. No one can take your joy from you unless you tune into the wrong frequency, you know. So we got to learn to take our power back and be at peace with ourselves, and then we could figure it out, you know.
That's one of the reasons why we're doing this show, too, to give you some of your power back by giving you some of your pride back. Because people are working 24/7 overtime trying to take your pride away.
Yeah.
They always thought we were too proud of people anyway. You start looking at some of the ancient stuff that was going on when these people first started jumping off these boats over here, they always felt like we were just too damn proud. And as poor as we are economically, financially, they still feel like we're too damn proud. I saw a talk show, I don't know if it was Phil Donahue or something like that, way back in the day, where they had, and I've said this to my listeners, where they had so-called white men and so-called white black men on the panel, and the so-called white men were talking about, well, you know, one of the things that we don't like is the way that the black man struts around like he owns the damn world. He keeps walking around like he's the king of everything, and like, why does it bother you how he struts around? As long as he's strutting on you, what difference does it make how he struts around? You know, people feel like you're too proud, so they are bending over backwards, trying to break you down all the time. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, I'm done. I was listening.
Okay, well, you know, unless we have other callers, which apparently we don't, because if we had, I'd have gotten a text from my sister. I don't think there's a whole lot else to say. We're showing you what people that look like you in this country have done and contributed, what you yourself are capable of. Like my grandmother told me as a child when I was struggling with algebra. I was having a hard time at one point with algebra. And she was like, well, is there anybody else in that class? Now, I was the only sister in the whole class. There were no brothers in the class because I went to a predominantly so-called white and Chinese school. More so-called white folks. Second was so-called Chinese. And melanin-rich people called black nowadays. There were almost none of us there. And I was the only melanin-rich person in the class. And the teacher graded on a curve, okay? And I was coming in getting F's. And I was like, I thought I understood it. So I went to my grandmother because she had taught school in Louisiana, even though we were in California. She said, is there anybody at all in that class getting any A's? And I said, yes. She said, if anybody at all in that class is capable of getting an A and getting one, you are capable of getting one too. So she said, what I want you to do is you read the preface of that book. When you read the preface of the book, the author that wrote the book will tell you how to use his book or read his book and how to comprehend this book. When you're done, you should have a better grasp of how to do the book, how to do the math. So I read the book, and my grade went up, but there was still a place that I kept struggling. So she hired me a melanin-rich tutor. And I only had to sit with that brother twice. I sat down with this brother, And he said, okay, to bring the book. I brought the book. He's like, okay, so what problem? I'm having a problem with this. He's like, okay, do the problem. Work it out. I worked the problem in front of him. He sat there in total dead silence while I did that entire problem. When I was done, the brother said, exactly why did you put this right here? He was asking me about a minus sign to delineate a negative problem as far as it being inside of a parenthesis versus outside of a parenthesis. And I said, well, isn't that where it's supposed to go? He said, well, don't you think it would make more sense if you put it here? And then I'm like, oh. Now, from that day forward, I got A. I got 100%, 100%. And what was so cold is I was the only nigga in the class. I screwed up the curve for everybody else in the class. Because the teacher graded on a curve, the fact that I got 100%, whereas previously 92 was an A, 88 was an A, or whatever. So here I come, I get 100%. That's an A. I was the only individual getting A's, and because I messed up the curve, all these so-called Chinese and white people in my class started getting B's, C's, D's. It pissed them off. Because this nigga screwed up the curve for the whole class with how dare she come in here and start getting 100% on every single algebra quiz, every single algebra test. I messed it up for everybody else, and all their grades went down because I had the nerve to get an A, and the teacher graded on a curve, which meant this is the curve. It's 100. You got to get up here. If you can't get up here, you're not getting the A. I was the only person getting A's. And I'm saying that to say, if it can be done, you can do it. If melanin-rich people have done it before in the past, you are capable of doing it now, and we are, like Miss Bass, for example, and you are capable of doing it again. My baby can speak Chinese. She be running around here. She's 4 years old. She can read practically anything at all. Yes, that's
and
you.
Baby know what,
yes.
And your baby know what a sphere is.
My baby knows the difference between a square and a cube. She knows the difference between a circle and a sphere. She knows how to identify a cylinder. She can, she knows all of her colors, all of her letters. She's been reading since she was like 2 years old. She can read almost anything at all. She can count from 1 to 10 in Spanish, from 10 to 0 backward with no help, from 1 to 100 with almost no help, from 10 to 100 with no help. She needs a lot of help getting there by 5. And she can, she's like, what is this in Spanish? What is this in French? What is this in Chinese? And I'm like, okay. Now she's getting really good at the Japanese to the point that there are things that I might say in Japanese. If I call it wrong, her 4-year-old behind will go, that's not that. In Japanese, that's that. If she can do it at 4, any of us, you can do it too. Trust me.
Yeah, we just have to believe.
That's why we're doing this show, to help you believe in yourself, to help you understand that everything that matters here that is used all the time, every day, either your people invented it outright, you improved on something that was invented, you created the predecessor or the forerunner, somebody else improved on it, or you had a hand in the team that came up with it. So don't let anybody make you feel like, oh, because you're black, you're nothing. You know what, you need to do some more research. Miss me. I'm not going to argue with you. If you think you're superior, right on, man. More power to you, because you know better. That fool looks stupid to you, because you know stuff that they don't know. And being so-called white, if they're superior, they're supposed to know all this stuff already. If you're superior to me, you should know already everything that I've contributed as a people. The fact that you don't know the truth means you're not that superior at all, because you're misinformed, and superior people are not misinformed people. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now, my niggas, you're not misinformed anymore. And that's all we wanted to say today. It has definitely been a pleasure. If you have any questions, you can go to my website to reach out to me at yaffabay.com. Y like yellow, A like apple, F like Frank, another F, A like apple, B like boy, EY.com, yaffabay.com. There's a contact link with my phone number, email. You can contact me. I do get back to everyone. I don't trip on what your gender is, what your sexual preference is, what your ethnicity is, what your age is. I try to reach back to everybody. There are people that have fallen through the cracks. Absolve me if I've missed you. But you're not going to find me Twitter and tweeting and being on Facebook befriending you. It ain't going to happen. You're not going to get me responding on YouTube. I'm not a part of any of that stuff. And I encourage anybody that has even an inkling of a creative bone in your body to check out Nzinga Pace on Facebook. She's got fabulous things that you can acquire. And she, you know, if you're in the the Northern California, San Francisco, Oakland Bay area, the sister does try to make herself, make herself available to youngsters.
Yeah.
Did I give this?
Yeah, and if you need to know how to do something, I'm available. I'm just straight up available to help people get started. Just get off the ground. Whatever it is you need to know, if I can help you with it, I'm not selfish. I'll share it with you. Because when we all eat, we all happier.
And that could be the case for the whole United States. Everybody here should be eating. If this is the best nation and the wealthiest nation in the world, or used to be, one of the most powerful nations in the world, why are so many people hungry, homeless, struggling? There's something wrong with that picture. Somebody doesn't have the right idea and the appropriate agenda for what should be going on American soil in this corporate example that they call the United States that exists on paper, you know, claiming to be a country.
Yeah.
You're doing something wrong with the country if you got that many people struggling. Go ahead, sis.
I think if the wealth was more evenly spreaded, the youth wouldn't be out there doing what they're doing. I think that they're out there because they have a need that they're trying to get filled. But if we take time for the children and teach them how to survive, teach them how to be entrepreneurs, don't be selfish with them, don't judge them, listen to them, love them, a lot of that stuff going to go away. A lot of it is just pain and misery and frustration.
And please teach it to them without touching them. Don't make part of your price to show them something is that I get the chance to rape you if I show you. I don't think so. If you can't come to the youth from a place of genuine love and upliftment, stay your ass the hell away from them. Excuse my language. We don't need any more predators. Talk about, I'll show them how to do it if they get on all four. I don't think so. Miss me with it.
Every time I turn on the news, that's all I see. That's all I see. Somebody getting arrested. Some person that we trusted, a principal, a mayor, a coach, somebody that we trust. Yeah, yeah. And then we look up and then the child is hurt in some way. Then we don't know who to trust. We looking at each other like this, you know, but I'm sorry for all that stuff. I'm not sorry, but it's too bad. My heart bleeds for all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not like that.
So thank you so much for joining us. And, again, you can reach out to Nzinga Pace, Nzinga, P like Peter, ACE like the Pace, salsa, you know, or, you know, pace yourself, slow down. You need to get a slower pace. Nzinga Pace is on Facebook. Check her out. And thank you so much for being a listener of Zuri Speaks and following the show. And, you know, if we didn't give you if we didn't feed you as much as you wanted to be fed, if you're sitting out there going, well, dang, is that all? I thought they were going to bring us something to the table. Absolve us if we didn't give you enough. Hopefully you learned something today that you did not know before, and hopefully those of you that knew but were misinformed or misled about the contributions, you're clearer now. So that's my forte. I want people to be clear. You don't have to know everything. Just be clear about what you do know. You don't have to know every detail. So I don't know every detail, but I'm clear, God dang it. I'm clear, and all my listeners are clear, particularly if you do your due diligence. Do your own due diligence to get your clarity. And keep in mind, the fact that we're doing this show means that somebody's going to go out there and make it their personal business to come up with some other misinformation to try to mislead you. Oh, niggas didn't do this and this and this and this. Be aware of that and see it for what it's worth. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Again, thank you so much for joining us. It was definitely our pleasure. We've enjoyed having you on Zuri Speaks, and